This is the problem. Come on. Hey, I'm live. I'm live. I must be live. Yeah, no worries, Morris. Glad you popped in. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Patron saints of extortionists. Yes. Oh, how are we all doing anyway? Are we all well? Let's have a quick slurp. Hiya, George. You all right? Oh, dear me. How you doing, Mr. 42? My favourite Mr. 42 there. Lovely jubbly. Yeah. Cheers, cheers. Hiya, Charlie. Mr. 42's lurking, I think. Yeah. Hello, Lauren. How are you doing? Happy birthday to my little daughter there. Oof. Right, first things first. Um, yeah, first things first. Let me chat on screen. Not to self-enable sound. Good, good. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it, Mr. 42. Let me get this straight and true. There we go. I can see that. I can see that. Lovely jubbly. Right, first things first. I was due to go, as you may or may not know, last Friday. I was due to go on my indoor skydiving thing. But apparently, and you'll laugh at this, you will laugh at this, I was just over the 18 stone threshold. Unbelievable. So I didn't go on it because if you go over the weight threshold, what happens is they have to turn the fans up, obviously, to give you more lift and everything. And there's more risk of your shoulder becoming dislocated, or your shoulders becoming dislocated, or what have you. There's more chance of damage, if you will. So they wouldn't let me go on. So Mrs. Jones has said she will get me something else for my birthday. And I hope she does. So that's that. That's and another thing. Sorry about there being no Sunday Stupid yesterday. Spending time. I put it on the community post. Spending time with the family and everything. Last Friday, last Saturday, last Sunday. Whew. Because what I normally do, dear viewer, is yeah, it was a shame. What I normally do is decide what videos I'm going to use for the Sunday Stupid on the Friday, and I do like some research, etc., etc. Record on the Saturday, and then obviously upload it and do all the gubbins and all the rest of it, edit it and all the rest of it, and that's basically it. I didn't have time to do a Sunday Stupid. I will be doing a Wacky Wednesday video, so look out for that this coming Wednesday, obviously. And I know I'm gonna have to lose some weight. It's as simple as that. Jeez, 18 stone. Bloody hell. I'm not even 6 foot, and I'm 18 stone. So obviously I'm going to have to do something about that. 13 watching, fantastic, fantastic. And, oh, 11 watching now. Oh, sorry, did my mentioning 18 stone put you off somehow? I do hope not. Anyway, yes, tonight's live stream, what we're going to do is we're going to look at, obviously, this young lady here. This is part of Matt Powell's video, and apparently what he's going to do is just basically point and laugh, and then we'll have a look at a flat earther a little bit later on after this one, if that's all right with you guys. I hope so. Because I'm not really one for chatting. I can't just sit on a screen and chat. I've got to watch something. My brain's got to be active. My mouth has got to sort of stay still. And I will interject my comments as and when I see fit. So, 15 watching now. Thank you, everybody. Pardon me. So there's 15 watching. So, shall we crack on with it? I think we should. And please let me know if you can't hear anything.
Dinosaurs did fart themselves into extinction. All their greenhouse gases caused climate change.
So they farted their way to extinction.
We're dealing with a crowd of people that are literally stuck in their childhood and they've never grown out of it. But of course, this is the first crowd to tell us that the Bible's wrong. This is the first crowd to come to tell us that dinosaurs farted themselves to death, or that squid...
Wrong. The lady right at the beginning of the video, he refuses to name this woman, and he's cut out the bit where she said greenhouse gases and they froze themselves to death. He thinks that they warmed up the planet, etc., etc. He's a dick, obviously.
Squids and octopi rode on a comet from outer space into our Earth and crash landed to evolve and to continue their evolution on Earth. Of course, the crowd that tells us that the Bible is incorrect and that Jesus was just a man and not God is the very crowd that believes that monkeys made a sea voyage from Africa to South America on rafts. That they literally surfed from Africa to South America. One guy responded to me recently. He goes, well, that sounds crazy. Let's clarify. It wasn't a surfboard. It was a log or some seaweed.
So we have seen evidence, plenty of evidence, for animals drifting on log.
A couple of quick ayahs. Hiya, Colon. How you doing? Cheeky Vlogs. Hello. Yeah, losing weight is a pain in the ass. Yes, I agree. Hi, Alexi Tividum. Hope I pronounced that right. In Denmark over there. Hello, Turtle Moves as well. Did a 2-minute jump in 1.5 minutes. They won't let me anywhere near it. The buggers. Absolute buggers. Rugby league background. Yeah, I did a bit of egg chasing actually in my youth. It wasn't a very good experience, I must admit. And why is half of that Google on there now? Oh right, okay, it's part of the video. Okay.
Drifting on seaweed, drifting on whatever through the ocean.
I imagine the poor little monkeys were dehydrated and exhausted and hungry and jumped off at the first chance they could when they saw South America, and then they found a whole new lineage of primates on that continent. This is not at all surprising. Matt Powell thinks it is.
Surfing monkeys, surfing dinosaurs. It's perfectly plausible. Do you know, I'm going to get that put on a t-shirt. And if ever, Matt Powell, if you're watching, this is a challenge. This is a debate challenge. Let us challenge this subject on a neutral channel with a neutral moderator. Let's do this bit, the surfing monkeys, and let's do the dinosaurs fighting themselves into extinction bit that you think evolution teaches. This is a message to you, Matt Powell. I'm challenging you to a debate. Let's do this and let's get it out of the way. Burke.
It's gotten to the point, ladies and gentlemen, where atheists are starting to get mocked majorly and they're not taken seriously. Nowadays, they're actually telling us that monkeys have learned how to surf, and surfing without no food source or anything like this. And of course, monkeys can't drink salt water, so they got no drink, no eat, and no nothing. And you've actually got atheists who are getting on video going, well, it all sounds plausible to me.
Surfing monkeys, surfing dinosaurs, it's perfectly plausible.
Why is it that you think that this monkey surfing is so implausible?
I mean, that's pretty desperate when you're saying that monkeys actually rafted on seaweed across the ocean. I mean, give me a break.
I didn't say that. That other fella said it. What I said was in my video. Thanks, Dog Walker. What I said in my video was I showed a massive landmass floating down the Panama Canal when it got flooded in 2010. An enormous landmass with trees still upright. So, yeah. But funnily enough, Matt never features that in any of his videos. I wonder why. From his YouTube channel, Matt's Powell Official. I don't know why he's got an official on the end of it, but there you go. Yes, Matt Powell is a young Earth creationist, and he is an unbelievable moron and science-denying halfwit. I think I got it pretty spot on there. He is an unbelievable moron. He is a science-denying halfwit. And yes, Dog Walker, he is a chuffing liar. Global Mom! Hello! Happy Valentine's Day. He puts all his faith and trust in the Bible. Anyway, Matt, the floor is all yours.
He sailed 900 miles across the Atlantic. Intrepid monkeys, according to scientists, made an improbable sea voyage from Africa to South America on a raft. Picture it, on a raft 34 million years ago. They're saying that the only way they could have got there is climbing on a little raft.
You know, surfing monkeys, surfing dinosaurs, it's perfectly plausible. Got that t-shirt on now, actually. Ah, right, okay. Yes, Morris, no problems, my friend, no problems. No problems. Whack-a-bot. Yeah. So, what these two guys, I don't know who this clown is here, or Greg Cameron, what these two guys are going to do is just point and laugh. They're not going to offer any evidence to the contrary, or what have you, and I am going to get perfectly plausible. I might have it as my middle name, actually. Mr. Perfectly Plausible Jones, 1972. That should be good. I'll do that. If he ever agrees to debate me on this, then that will be my name, Mr. Perfectly Plausible Jones, and I will have my Perfectly Plausible t-shirt on. So,
what do you even say to that?
I just want to know, was it an inflatable raft or was it a log raft that they had to build themselves?
See, this is the mentality of these people that, you know, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, just point and laugh. Fine, fair enough, do that. But then, if you want to be taken seriously, then perhaps offer some explanation as why we found fossilized molars in Peru. You know, it's crazy, honest.
I heard some guy say it was a little piece of bark. So they rafted across. And it's funny because the same guy goes, you mean to tell me that Noah survived on a wooden boat with all these animals on it? They think a monkey survived on a little piece of bark surfing across the ocean.
No, one person said seaweed. I'm saying an enormous landmass. Make up your mind, Powell, here. You want to think, you want me to believe, how did kangaroos get from Turkey to Australia? I mean, Kent Hovin says that the seas were a lot lower, there was land bridges, etc., etc. and just the marsupials made it to Australia. So, if marsupials can make it from Turkey to Australia, why can't monkeys make it from Africa to South America? Got to make your mind up here, Powell.
34 million years ago. And yes, a couple days ago, I was talking with Damien, who's actually running the streams right now. And he made the point that we can't even know hardly. Archaeologists are trying to figure out what happened just 1,000 years ago. But they know for certain that 34 million years ago, they were on a little raft. And according to this guy, it's perfectly plausible to believe in surfing monkeys and surfing dinosaurs.
So you're a buffoon and an idiot for believing thus saith the Lord. But if you just thus saith whoever this guy is, then if you don't believe that, then you really are an idiot. Right. So yeah, I guess thus saith this guy, so it's true.
Must be true. He said it.
He said it.
Beard.
No, I didn't say it was true. I said it was perfectly plausible. You've got to know the difference between the two. Instead of just pointing and laughing, come up with your own explanation as to why we found fossilized molars in Peru. Dead easy. You know, instead of Mr. Weird Beard here, who looks like a cream egg gone wrong, and you got this ginger bollock here.
And really take a hit. University of Utah researchers discovered human beards evolved to absorb punches to the head and jaw.
My beard grew a little more. Research shows that flowing facial hair might have evolved to help fight hungry humans better absorb blows to the head.
So we weren't straw manning them when we pointed this out, because they cried out, straw man, straw man. Nobody believes that beards evolved to absorb punches to the jaw. There you have it. University of Utah.
I will do it a bit call on, I promise.
If you actually had a beard, right? So a beard is a disadvantage in a fight because you could pull guard, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, in my past life, I've been in a few fights, and yeah, they're definitely a disadvantage. Definitely a disadvantage.
It's crazy.
So that's the shtick, is it? It's crazy. The study found that a punch, a beard, can absorb between 20 and 30% more damage or more power, more energy than somebody who's clean shaven. That's what the study found. And of course, Matt Powell, he just reads headlines. That's all he reads. And what about a lion's mane? A lion's mane will protect it, and that's practically a beard.
I guess if you just wish something, maybe they just wanted the padding there. They thought if I can just get some padding, it'll take away from the blows. Maybe they just didn't figure out how to make the helmets, the sparring helmets yet. So they're just like, let's just grow some hair.
Right.
That makes sense. Right. I got it. I'm learning here.
Folks, I know this stream is off the cuff, but if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We'll try to answer them. But yeah, we're just covering the craziest things, because people say, if you believe the Bible, you are really superstitious,
We do. Atheists do try and ask you questions in the chat, Matt. But you've blocked all the atheists, haven't you? You will only have people in your comment section and on your live streams or what have you who just agree with you. You just worship the ground that you walk on. And to me, no. I don't want everybody kissing my ass. If somebody says, if I'm doing something wrong, then I want people to tell me I'm doing something wrong. If I say something wrong, then I want to be called out on it. I don't want everybody kissing me backside. Plus, it's that fat anyway. You'll probably be kissing it for a month.
But this is superstition right here.
Fortunately, no humans were slugged in the name of science. Yeah, this isn't science. So we're gonna put it
Demon orb!
Real life experiment.
These guys believe it. They're pretty obnoxious, but they believe it. They're like, let's put it to the test.
My beard grew a little more. Does that hurt? Nope, got a beard.
Want to hear about dinosaurs?
Do I want to hear about dinosaurs?
Turns out that, so this is a new report from British scientists, and they said...
Look at how smug Matt Powell looks because he thinks he's got a gotcha moment here. Absolutely no chance. I've shown this time and time again. Friendly Atheist has done the same. There's a few others. I can't remember the channel names now. I'm really, really sorry. There's a few others that have also debunked this crap here.
That basically the dinosaurs, they also warmed the planet thanks to all the gas that they emitted from eating all the leafy plants. And in all, they emitted a total of 520 million tons per year of global methane, which is, they say, is a level comparable to the total given off today by animals and industrial activity. So they farted their way to extinction.
That's her conclusion, nobody else's. And Powell thinks that, you know, evolution teaches this crap. And no, I've read that study that the 3 British scientists have done, and I've done it on video as well. There's a video up on my channel reading it all out, and nowhere in that paper does it mention that dinosaurs farted themselves to death. But Powell, being a headline reader, doesn't actually read scientific papers. He thinks that this is what evolution teaches. What a dick. And Powell, I'll quite happily debate you on this as well, because I've got evidence you haven't.
They actually believe this. They believe that dinosaurs farted themselves to death. And then one guy says, well, Matt, you've misrepresented us. We believe they tooted. He used the word tooted. Who uses that? Unless you're like 5. We believe they tooted and it warmed the environment. And then that's why they died.
No, they tooted and warmed the environment, but that's not why they died. The majority, I'd say over 90%, over 95% was scientists agree that it's one catastrophic climate change event, like an immediate climate change event, an asteroid hitting, a meteor hitting, several massive volcanic eruptions. That's what they agree with. I don't know of one scientist that says that dinosaurs farted themselves to death.
It's still the same thing. It doesn't matter how you shuffle the cards.
Yeah, I mean, don't they pride themselves on using all these large words and scientific terminologies? But
all right, Maurice, see you later. Hey, thanks for popping in. Thank you.
Tooted is that the biggest word he could figure? He needs to get out his, thesaurus and look up, maybe an alternate word that sounds a little bit more intelligent than
tooted.
I wonder, they have the amber with, the little bubbles of oxygen in there. I wonder if we could find one that they drill out and it toots. Right. That could be evidence for them.
This could be evidence for this. Good time.
I think what's important here is actually that this once and for all proves that the Creation Museum in Kentucky is wrong. Because if dinosaurs were actually farting that much, Adam and Eve would not have been that close to them hanging out. So I just want to point that out.
60 million years ago.
What? Oh. This is why you should never ever let newsreaders anywhere near scientific papers, because that's the level of intelligence that right there. This is newsreaders on this level, and this is young Earth creationists on this level, and this is flat earthers just underneath.
So the Creation Museum's wrong. Creationists are wrong because if dinosaurs farted themselves to death, then they wouldn't have survived around them. Well, how did all the other creatures survive, right? Because if dinosaurs were dying from it, wouldn't it kill everything else?
Well,
make believe.
Today they say the biggest emitters of this methane is cows.
Right.
Does that mean there's no cowboys anymore? Because
right. According to their
according
logic,
to them, there's no cowboys.
Right.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh. Do cowboys ride cows? I thought they rode horses. And if anybody says, nay, they didn't ride horses, I'll kill you.
I couldn't even believe it when I saw this video. They're actually teaching kids this.
The mighty dinosaurs were wiped out.
No, they're not teaching kids this at all. Nobody's teaching kids this at all.
There are many reasons for this, and here is just one of them. Number 63.
Dinosaurs.
I want to know where that video comes from. If anybody's got a thing where you tweet it to me or message me on Discord, please.
Did fart themselves into extinction. All their greenhouse gases cause climate change.
All their greenhouse gases caused climate change. Powell, why don't you play the rest of the video? Let's play the rest of the video and see what she says afterwards, if anything.
I feel dumber.
I feel like you lose IQ points. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for all of you who tuned into this video.
Powell, you didn't have any IQ points to start off with.
You have just lost a few IQ points because let me tell you, this is insane. It's not just crazy what we're dealing with. This is literal insanity. If you brought this before, if you played that video in a courtroom, because remember, evolution's protected by law, and you bring that into a courtroom, they're going to laugh you right out of there. But they don't even know. Most people don't know they play that. That's an educational video for kids on extinction of dinosaurs.
Can we bring up exhibit number 2, please?
Clangers on bottom moon.
This lady cracks me up so much. She goes, dinosaurs did fart themselves into extinction.
She said it confidently. They did.
They did. It's funny.
Well, exactly, Mr. 42. Exactly. People who watch cartoons and all the rest of it and who have posters in the background watching cartoons and playing video games, he doesn't like it very much, does he? And yet here he is, sat here, watching a cartoon. Fair point, well made there, Mr. 42.
Why did they take issue with us? Why don't they take issue with these people saying it? Because like the news reporters can say it. You know, dinosaurs, they farted their way to extinction. And this lady can say it. But all of a sudden I say it. And they're like, straw man, straw man.
Sleepy Riley.
You know, and they write articles about it. I've seen entire videos about it. They get hundreds of thousands of views. And they're like, he's just pulling a rabbit out of his hat. No, people actually are saying this now. They believe this.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you're telling it to a bunch of intelligent people, which are your viewers. And
Matt Powell's viewers are intelligent. Yeah, give me a break. Oh dear, oh dear.
And that news is getting out to other intelligent adults where this video is obviously targeting children. So they don't want people with an IQ above 70 to actually see this information. They want them to grow up as children and learn this stuff so that when they get older, they can just be like, oh, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? And then they become an evolutionist.
Yeah, right. Amen. That's how it goes. Kids video.
Dinosaurs did fart themselves into extinction. All their greenhouse gases cause climate change.
She has a straight face.
We evolved.
Oh, he doesn't play the rest of the video. There's a thing. He doesn't play the rest of the video where it says it created dinosaurs farted themselves into extinction. They farted themselves to death. All their greenhouse gases created an ice age, and that's why they died out. So, Powell, you've got to decide which one teaches which. Is it, they warmed the planet and that's why they died out, or did they freeze to death? Yeah, dumb fuck of the year. I don't think Red's Rhetoric does that anymore, does he? I don't think Red's Rhetoric's on YouTube anymore, to be honest. He should do rocket launches. I like his rocket launch videos.
From monkeys.
I don't know how they do it.
Why are there still monkeys? Well, because we're not monkeys. We're fish.
No.
Now, knowing you're a fish and not a monkey is actually really important to understanding where we came from. Many of us
We're fish.
Well, come on, oh great one. Give us your wise wisdom here, Powell. Please.
I guess Mr. Limpet was right. Remember Mr. Limpet? I wish I were a fish. Well, according to evolution, you were a fish. Millions of years. Again, they cry out, straw man, Matt, straw man. This is not a straw man argument. This is right out of their own mouths. That's why I wanted to do this video, is because people are like, he is such a liar. And Kent Hovind, liar. Greg Cameron, liar.
Well, yeah, you are. Back at, we were fish. We crawled at the sea. We evolved into something else. Some evolved into something else. Some evolved into something else. That's why it's called an evolutionary tree, because some branched off this way, some branched off that way, and we became apes. Simple as. It's not really all that difficult to understand.
Richard Long, all of them. Jonathan Guzman, they're all liars, con men. Not true. Not true.
Taught evolution wrong. You and I are fish.
I'll have a look at it later on Global Warm. I promise. There we go, anyway.
One fish lineage came onto land and gave rise to, among other things, the mammals and reptiles. Perhaps it's better still to think of us as a little fish out of water.
Let's talk about the universe.
So, no rebuttal, no evidence to the contrary, nothing. Point and laugh. This is all these clowns do. There we go.
That makes me feel bad because I like fishing.
Right.
So am I like cannibal here?
Right. Yeah. You're literally eating your ancestors.
I'm eating my ancestors.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, Jesus did.
No, you're not eating your ancestors. For God's sake. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. If you ate fish from millions and millions and millions of years ago, then, you will be eating your ancestors. But not now, because they're not your ancestors. You're still related, though.
Did command us to go be fishers of men. So maybe they have some credence there.
Yeah. It's insane.
Shall we? The universe as we know it was created by what is known as the Big Bang, or so we believe. The Big Bang is the belief that the universe essentially came from nothing. And that's hard to understand because how could something so enormous and, significant and just magical come from nothing?
That's because it's not believable, because it's not science, because it's not true.
Because nobody says it. It says the universe came from a singularity, not from nothing. We don't know where that singularity came from, but it doesn't say we came from nothing.
So you can take a recording device and record information into it. And when you play the information back, there's no cognitive process with that recording device. It's just spewing out whatever you put upon it. That's what she is.
Yeah.
I mean, even she was like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense, but she doesn't stop to think about it. It just came in from her gurus, and then it spews back out. She's this little, animated, living, organic recording device, just spewing out information.
Thanks, Colin.
Never actually thinking.
Well, it's
hello,
sad.
Loki fish.
It is
Hello,
very
think
sad
about it, because these people they think that they're free thinkers, and they go out on the street and they hold up signs that say, "We believe in free thought." If you believe, I'm a skeptic. If you were a skeptic, you would have been skeptical at base one.
Yes.
Atheists are capable of free thought. We're the only ones that really are capable of free thought. Unless you're not a young earth creationist, then you're capable of free thought. If you don't take the Bible literally, then you're capable of free thought. Young earth creationists aren't. They're commanded, aren't they, by the Bible, by the word of God. Well, by some men who wrote the Bible anyway. They're commanded to believe that crap. I don't get it at all. I mean, what they're doing is projection. These two pillocks here should work in a cinema, because there's so much projection coming out of these two, so much bullshit coming out of these two. It's untrue. I mean, don't you dare, these two guys here, don't you dare project your faults onto me. I'm open-minded. I've admitted I'll be open-minded. If there's, if there is a God, I'm open to the possibility that there might be a God, something beyond supernatural or what have you. But I've never seen any evidence for it.
When they said that the universe popped into existence from nothing with no God uncaused, we're dealing with people that believe in magic. We're actually dealing, because they accuse us. They say Christianity, that's a book of myths, a book of fairy tales, it's magic.
Not true. What's magical? Somebody creating the universe, or matter and energy poofing into existence from nothing?
Somebody creating the universe. You've just said it in your own words. Somebody creating the universe is magic, isn't it? By that very definition, it must be.
I actually was out on the street not too long ago interviewing atheists, and I specifically said, if you're an atheist, we'll do the interview. And I only got atheists. And I asked them one question. I said, what requires magic? God creating the universe, or somebody creating the universe, or matter and energy creating itself from nothing? And each one of them, they stuttered, they looked at me for a minute, they got real uncomfortable, and they said, the universe creating itself from nothing. They know they believe in magic.
No, Matt, stop lying, because you are lying now. That didn't take place at all. Like I say, Matt, if you want to debate on the Big Bang, I'm quite happy to do that as well. Come and debate me, Powell. Come and debate me. Stop running, stop hiding, debate me.
And I got them to admit, like 10 of them, to admit they believe in full-blown magic. Because that
10? Really? Supposed to believe that you had chats with 10 atheists when you won't even chat with me? Online? Whatever.
That's what they're left with. If you think there's no God, every mystical superstition comes to life at that point. Farting dinosaurs, surfing monkeys. Surfing dinosaurs is perfectly plausible, this guy earlier said. You got to start with God. You have to have a good
Amen.
place to begin.
It just makes sense that there'd be a creator.
It makes sense that there'd be a creator, this magical, omnipotent, supernatural thing that can defy the laws of physics and time, etc., that nobody's ever seen and conversed with, nobody can describe. This amazing, omnipotent being that created the stars and the planets and the universe and the galaxies, created this earth, created all the plants, the life, all life on this planet, created all of that, and he needs an 800-year-old man to build him a boat. Right. Gotcha. I believe that.
Yeah. And what they say doesn't make sense. Even she admitted it. She says, well, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Because there's no sense to it.
Right.
Like I said, it was once believed that our entire universe, not just Earth, not just our solar system, not just our galaxy, everything, our entire universe was once this big. You know,
Exactly,
the chances of just a mega
exactly.
bang or explosion creating, what's essential for life, living creatures is just slim to none for me. It seems unbelievable of that.
It's because it's not believable. It is unbelievable for rational people. Anna, I think her name was Anna Campbell. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's
No, the Bible doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Whales are fish? Really? Are they really? Snakes can talk? No. The earth is flat? No, I don't think it is.
unbelievable. Which really does describe it well, because it is a belief.
Yeah.
It's not factual, it's a belief.
So if belief is wrong, they believe the Bible because obviously they've never seen God or spoke to God or what have you. And they weren't there when the Bible was written. So if belief is wrong, why is my belief wrong and why is their belief right if all belief is wrong? They're falling over themselves here. They don't got bloody cream eggman here and we've got ginger bollock here. We haven't got a bloody clue what they're talking about, contradicting themselves constantly.
Well, and that's why they have churches popping up everywhere. The first church of atheism. Atheism itself is defined as the belief that there is no God. They say we don't have beliefs. It's defined. What you believe is the belief that there is no God. It's a belief.
It's not a belief there is no God. It's a disbelief that a God exists. It's a non-belief that a God exists. That's what atheism is. It's not believing that a God exists. There's no belief in atheism.
Good point.
Bad point.
It is proven that the universe was much smaller. It is theorized that it was actually the size of a grain of sand at one point. Grain of sand. But that small grain of sand that
Bit
was
smaller
once
than
our
that.
universe had to have enough energy to set off that moment of creation.
Did the
Oh, she said creation. She said creation. Oh my God, that must mean God did it.
Man,
all the points.
What's that?
She makes all the ridiculous points, and it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that's how it happened.
She's just mindlessly repeating what she's been told.
Yeah.
But these are the first people that tell us you've been brainwashed by religion. You've been confused. They say we need to get religion out of society. So when I watch this, sometimes I don't even know how to respond to it because it's so much stupidity in one video.
No, you don't know how to respond to it, Powell, because you don't understand it, and you never have understood it. You think that evolution teaches that we came from a rock. Wrong. You think that nothing created the universe. Wrong. You completely misrepresent what evolution teaches and what the Big Bang teaches. And don't listen to Uncle Kent, because he thinks that the Big Bang theory is part of the evolution theory. He's another dick.
But this is really what they believe.
Yeah. There's no room for free thought in evolution.
None.
The Bible says, "Study
About
to
it.
show thyself approved unto God." I can study my Bible and see what it says, and I answer only to God. And I can differ from you, and you can differ from me, and I give an answer for myself.
Yeah.
In evolution, if I study and I come up with something that's not what they think I should come up with, I'm out. Like, oh, this definitely didn't come out. It didn't pop out of nothing. Something.
You're not out. You're just dismissed because you don't have any evidence to back up your claims. Science is a self-correcting process. It always is. If you've got a better explanation for how things evolved on this planet, if you've got actual scientific evidence, then get it peer-reviewed, get it published.
Had to have caused it. Oh no, that's not the right kind of thought. I thought we were free thinkers here.
Right.
No, that's expensive thought. It's going to cost you.
Oh yeah. Very good point.
universe need a creator, not according to the physicist and mathematician Stephen Hawking, who argues that God wasn't necessary for the creation of the world. Professor Hawking claims that the Big Bang theory of creation can now be explained by science alone, without the need to consider some form of divine intervention.
Because there are laws such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing.
The universe could essentially be nothingness, which was
They didn't play the rest of his quote though, did they? I wonder why that. Because he doesn't say it like it creates. That's been taken out. I can't remember the whole quote, but he's taken that completely out of context.
unstable and created a soap bubble.
It's hard to argue against the possibility that all of us are not just the creation of some kid in a parent's basement programming up a world for their own entertainment. And then every time something weird happens in the world, some disruptive leader takes charge, and I wonder if that programmer just got bored and had to stir the pot. So they throw somebody in there just for their own entertainment.
There are lots of different religions, and they can't all be right. And the Christian one in which I was brought up was clearly only one of many. But that didn't finally make me into an atheist. What finally made me into an atheist was the realization that there was no scientific reason to believe in any sort of supernatural creator.
That's my thing as well. There's no evidence for it. James Randi's been offering hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, for proof of the supernatural, and absolutely nothing has come up or stood up to any tests whatsoever.
That came with the understanding of Darwinian.
Love James Randi, me. R.I.P. James.
When they knew God, they glorified him not as God, but became vain in their imagination. And his foolish heart was darkened, it looks like.
His foolish heart was darkened. Well, I mean, even the news reporters had reported on his remarks. Remember, I think back in 2016, he said that the mild pedophilia it did him no lasting harm.
well, you're an atheist, Richard Dawkins. Apparently it did something wrong, because something bad happened to you at some point, because you believe some interesting things. I think it's kind of interesting, the idea that panspermia that you'd mentioned in one of your videos, that life could have been seeded on this planet. But that's not science. That's...
Yes, it is science. Powell, I don't think you want to be talking about paedophilia in connection with religion. Really? I don't think so. Yeah, it's the $1 million. Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, rest in peace, James Randi. What a guy. What a guy.
Sci-fi, that's like Star Trek, Star Wars, has nothing to do with reality. But you know, there's, Brother Cameron, it seems like whenever I talk to these theistic evolutionists, the Christian crowd that says, well, we believe in evolution and we believe in God. Well, here's the thing. Dawkins himself admitted in this video that what made him into an atheist was evolution. He says, once I came to Darwinian evolution, that's what made me into an atheist. So there is a connection. The world's leading atheist is evolutionist, and that's what made him an atheist.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a strong correlation between the two.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
And what's wrong with that?
Today, the Sunday Assembly, or as it's better known, the Atheist Church, is launching.
It goes on about atheist churches now, so I'm going to skip that if you don't mind, because I don't understand it. I'm not an active atheist, if you will. I'm not, you know, I don't wake up every morning saying, I'm an atheist, praise be to me, and all the rest of it. I'm not like that. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at a flat earth debate now. This one was between FTFE and Howard George Stirrup. My least favourite flurf, I think. Very much so. Moderated by Sean Hufford and Team Skeptic. James Randi. I've not seen that. But I did see the video. James Randi, if you remember, he did the Kung Fu guy, didn't he? The guy who was dressed in a Kung Fu suit. And he was trying to, move the pages of the yellow pages. And then James Randi put some polystyrene things around it, and then that was it, him debunked. Yeah, you can believe in God and evolution. You can. Lots of scientists do. Lots and lots of scientists do. Mr. Stirrup. Oh my lordy. Wait until you see this clown.
Yeah, you can start the clock. I'll try my best to get through it all. There's some I didn't drop on the chat, but you've got a bit of it there. So my theory is that globe syndrome is the first step of mass hypnosis.
Just before we just before we start, yeah, this is Howard's opening statement. This is supposed to be a debate about the shape of the Earth, and he's going about globe syndrome, a condition that, as far as I know, doesn't exist.
In other words, it's the first step towards more indoctrination. And I don't mean to insult any of your subscribers that are watching, because we have all been indoctrinated in many ways. And if we're wrong, hopefully by conversing with maturity, we'll learn our errors. But let's just suppose that we've all been put under a spell so that we can't think for ourselves. Because can anyone really say that their thoughts are their own?
Stop censoring
Is
Ireland.
there such a thing as an original idea, or is everything inspired? Hypnosis is where the subject is convinced to focus on something and reduce all the other thoughts until the subconscious thinks that it was your own idea. I've got a friend that's explained this to me, and these are some ways that we're being socially engineered and influenced, which I'm sure no one can debate with me. Repetition, you know, with music, with the choruses or adverts that always come on, it's the best form of mind control. It persuades us because we see it so often or we hear it so often, we just imagine that it is good. We get convinced. Entertainment, is a way to engineer us, obviously. Entertainment means to enter the mind and to hold it, the actual word. It distracts us from critically thinking for ourselves. Subliminals, whether people believe in them or not, there's visual and audible subliminals that are subtle suggestions to our subconscious memory. So we might not take it in at the moment, but everything gets recorded. Fanaticism, we just cannot believe that when we love could deceive us, like Stockholm Syndrome.
Forgive me here, but has Stirrup provided any evidence for the Earth not being a globe, or is he just going on with a load of crap?
Or when a person beats his partner, you tend to find the partner thinks the world of him. It's all factual. Humor and sarcasm cause us, you know, when people are sarcastic, and that it causes us to doubt our preconceived ideas. Negative priming, like if somebody farts and they want to blame somebody else, so they claim it first and they point out the most scruffy kid in the class, and boom, everyone thinks it's them. Well,
so somebody farting and blaming it on somebody else is negative priming, is it? Is this guy having a laugh?
Well, we all go through negative priming when we're told not to believe our own senses. From 3 to 5 years old, we're given the globe and told to believe in gravity and curvature that our senses cannot perceive, or you know, like the force that hasn't been demonstrated to us. So this is a traumatic memory, because we're embarrassed, we're told we're not right about something that until we're told it, we believe's true. So this, in later life, triggers us to react negatively, and we're not able to take in the new information seriously, so we either ignore it or fight it. Fight the flat earth. Mystery and secrecy entices us to go down rabbit holes. Temptation causes infatuation, greed, and...
How you doing, Major Tom? You all right? I take it you're a David Bowie fan.
Dependency. Plus, remember, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So it's often the medium that's more important than the message itself. Prince Charming is the principality of charm. Without getting too religious or anything, it's a seduction, it's a seductive force which causes delusion and provokes an alter ego. This is why scientists, doctors, and even some YouTubers can mislead. Politicians entertain. For over 20 years, we've had the possibility to be self-governed with the technology in our hands, like telephones, and we've got platforms like Facebook, which we could do open source. So with transparency on the coding and transparency on the voting, because we vote on Facebook what we like, what we dislike, we put our own ideas. Why do we have politicians? To entertain us, to keep us distracted and think that we need them. We've got the television, which programs us, as I said, with all of those above mentioned, and it impels us into a state of trance where we're...
It impels us. Does he not mean compels us? I've never heard so much absolute bollocks in all my life, and I'm not apologising for putting you lot through it, because if I've got to listen to it, so have you.
We're open to suggestion. This is proven by Herbert Krugman in 1969, where he shows that the brain alters from waves to alpha waves, which is a state that where we're not thinking so critically. So with television and all these other techniques, it's very easy to brainwash and socially engineer society. Plus, there's the obvious one, which you do have a image of, the 2 images of censorship, if you don't mind, while I'm talking. The censorship and suppression of information is like putting blinders on a donkey. It guides...
No, Facebook isn't open source. What are you going on about?
You down a narrow path of understanding, which obviously affects the decisions we make. So I've been censored on Facebook for recommending the scientific method, that people verify the results that I'm claiming to have got from the 3 experiments that we'll talk about after. And Facebook's blocked me from science groups of physics and natural sciences.
No, Howard, the admins have blocked you. Facebook hasn't blocked you. And yeah, Global Mom, totally agree with that one. Where are we now? Yeah, the television is okay, but the television, but YouTube is somehow okay. Yeah, because we're in control, obviously, of what goes on YouTube and what we watch, and we are not in control of what television companies put out, are we? Oh, God almighty.
And I'm only asking people to check and make their own inquiries. That shouldn't be censored. It's not dangerous. Also, I've been censored for asking people to verify the math. And by putting in the online curve calculator, Facebook's algorithms have censored my posts and took them out. And I'm thinking, well, how
Exactly,
can
John
math
Rapp,
be
yeah.
so dangerous? And this is a point, this is a proof against the globe. Without me knowing what shape the Earth is, Facebook is censoring scientific inquiries in science-related groups, and it's censoring mathematics inquiries in mathematics groups. So it's not like I'm spamming. It's not like it's irrelevant or trying to make accusations or suppositions. I'm asking.
He's not making accusations or suppositions, but he's so open-minded, but he doesn't think the Earth's a globe, but he doesn't know what shape the Earth is. He just knows it's not a globe. That's not very open-minded.
People to check my math. I'm asking people to check my science. So that is a very strong evidence against the globe. It's obvious that the companies don't want us talking about this. The question is why? Why? Now these are some. Have I still got a few minutes?
Hello, Vesta.
I'll keep going. Okay, I'll try and be as fast as possible. I'm nearly done. Here's just a few hints of mind control. The existence and the recognition of the Flat Earth Society and the actual term, or I like to say trigger word, earthers. Let's be honest, when I'm called a flat earther, it triggers me to respond maybe in a debate form.
Well, Howard, right, when you wear a t-shirt saying Flat Earth, I love Flat Earth, when you pose for photographs with your arm out like that saying Flat Earth, when your Twitter handle is Flat Earth Spain, what deduction is anybody going to reach from that? They're going to call you a flat earther. It's simple, a bit like you, Mr. Weird Beard.
And people that have been educated with all the scientific knowledge or scientific theories of where we are and the reality we live in, hear the word flat earther. Since we were in school and we were shown the Earth tilting with water falling off, with floating through space, which as you spoke about the other day, you know that nobody believes in that. You know that nobody follows the Flat Earth Society's set beliefs and claims. It's controlled opposition, and it's the first thing that comes up on Google ranking. The question is, why does the Flat Earth Society exist, and why do people like Obama and Google keep promoting it? It's
Obama didn't look at. I paused it right there. Look at Sean Uppard's face there. That is a picture. Obama didn't promote Flat Earth at all.
It's definitely a disinformation to slow down people's inquiries, and again, it's a form of negative priming. The term anti-vaxxers is a trigger, and really, most people like myself are just learning about ingredients that shouldn't be in there, just like we shouldn't have fillings made of mercury anymore.
Fillings made, oh, for goodness sake. Happy birthday for, yesterday, turned 66, I bet you don't look a day over 65, do you? Well, anyway, can everybody in the chat just wish Vesta a happy birthday, please? Thank you. No, it's not the first thing that comes up in Google ranking. It never has been, as far as I'm aware.
No matter what chemical compound they change it to, there's no need for mercury to be in there, apart from the financial benefit of the company that it helps the duration of the shelf life, it doesn't help us. So when people are saying we'd like to improve vaccinations and inform others about the ingredients, we tend to be attacked due to the fanaticism which people have got towards authority. Where if people research the Tuskegee 40-year syphilis experiment that Bill Clinton apologized.
The Tuskegee. What on earth has this got to do with the shape of the Earth? Absolutely nothing.
For, you'll see that when governments haven't all our best interests at heart, we're like guinea pigs to them. This is all documented and released information. You've got the trigger word vampires, which is just glorifying cannibalism. We're brainwashed, guys. We're accepting all this. Food additive, Cenomix, HEK-293, which I hope you...
Vampires, food additives, nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. What he's doing, and what he always does, this stirrup fella, he just uses every single platform. He's done it on Modern Day Debate. He's done it on every single channel that he's ever appeared on, and he's gone completely off topic. Absolutely nothing to do with it. He's just used every single channel that he's ever appeared on to push his conspiratorial whack job agenda.
People look into is derived from aborted fetuses. Yes, cannibalism. It's getting normalized all over mainstream, isn't it? We all keep seeing these big famous celebrities promoting
You have 10
blood
seconds.
facials and all. Okay. Illuminati is really just Satanist pedophiles. Chemtrails really
Oh, Illuminati. Oh, jeez. Oh my God. And I paused it there, short enough it there. I mean, you know, it faces a picture as per usual. Oh, dear me. Satanist pedophiles. I don't think he knows what Satanists really are, because they don't. The majority of them certainly don't worship Satan.
geoengineering, which was ignored when really it's now admitted.
Okay. Right. So
Disappointed.
Well, I know he does have other stuff that we can talk about, team. But obviously, this is what he wanted to. I know that he wanted to build a case as to why we're being lied to.
There's like four or five more points. If I could rip through them, and then you've got the whole case. You're not uninformed. You've got the whole.
See, that's what I mean. He's trying to rip through his, you know, conspiratorial agenda, and it's quite wrong. I wish that these moderators here should have kept him on topic. I know it's an opening statement, but if the debate is about flat Earth, I mean, what does it say in the description? Fourth dimensional earther, right? And he's mentioned nothing about 4 dimensions at all.
Whole info. I really can rip through it.
All right,
let's save that for the back and forth discussion.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Save them for later. We'll still get to them.
Right. So I'd like to talk.
Thank you.
I'd like to respond. You know, with
get him, Craig. Get him, Craig.
About not believing our senses and things like that. The easiest thing that I can say about that is, if I'm to believe my senses, the world is literally an indistinguishable blur. We have tools that allow us to perceive things better than our senses can. Our senses.
Jesus, Craig, put your glasses back on. You don't look at all normal. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of FTFE. I really am. Honest.
Senses are actually pretty rubbish, and most cases shouldn't be trusted. Adverts
fight the
and
flat Earth. Are you just addressing his? You're not presenting evidence yourself.
No, I think everyone's seen my evidence and stuff that I presented so many times. I don't think
has Howard seen your stuff? That's a big question.
I've been at it for 2 years. I've seen and heard it all. I wanted to change it up a bit.
Okay, so would you rather have Craig address your statements, or do you want him to present
get
his
your bingo
evidence?
cards ready?
I'll leave that to you.
Bit of both. I'll leave it to the host. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, why don't you just present evidence? Fight the flat Earth.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. You don't have to take the whole 10 minutes if you don't need to, but we'll start it as soon as you're ready.
Okay. All right.
You should have the scripted down to 5 by now.
Yeah. Right. So the the easiest evidence that we have that the Earth is a globe that we've been told is simple things like evidence of curvature, like this. Everyone's seen
Miles
this
Davis,
from Miles
isn't it?
Davis many times. The camera height is 210 meters above sea level, in line with the top of those bridges. That's the 4 rail bridges down the road from me. But those mountains behind are over 500 meters. And
Hey guys, go check out Artlist's new plan now. It's monthly, it's affordable,
Sorry,
and it's
Freckles.
made for us social.
you have a reference as to what eye level is, because the top of the bridges is the same as the camera height, yet the things in the distance are below that even though they're higher. So there's clear evidence that there is curvature. If the Earth was flat and not a globe, then the horizon would rise to eye level, which it clearly doesn't. The horizon is always below eye level. The higher you get, the further down it goes from eye level. You can use perspective lines to show this. There's apps that you can get to show that there is, even when you're on a plane, the horizon has dropped. That wouldn't happen if the Earth was flat, and matches with the math that the Earth is a globe. So we can talk about evidence of rotation with things like the HAAWK effect, where you can increase your centripetal acceleration if you're traveling
Well done,
with the
Mr.
rotation
42.
of the Earth and you're going faster, and that reduces your perceived gravitational effect and therefore reduces your weight, and vice versa when you're traveling the other way. This has been demonstrated by Wolfie 6020, literally by taking weights on flights going east to west and west to east and showing that there's a difference in the weight. Fiber optic gyros, interferometric fiber optic gyros are
Scotland is, yeah.
always able to show a drift. And
Periscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Bob.
Yeah, not you.
Yep. So fiber optic gyros work using the Sagnac effect. They cannot be affected by things outside of the gyroscope. They measure the rotation of literally what they are on. This is why planes have 3 of them to measure yaw, pitch, and roll. And the fiber optic gyro will not only measure the 15-degree-per-hour drift of the Earth, but if you left it for a year, it would measure the drift around the planet as well, about 1 degree a day. Ferrocells do not work. Light cannot be bent by an electromagnetic field in that manner. That's literally not how ferrocells work. Pendulums are. Well, I've lost that. Let me just get the video up quickly. Don't worry about stopping my time. It won't take a sec. So, if you aren't happy with the a fiber optic gyro, then you can refer to things like the experiment done by the gentleman physicist, where he created a plastic pendulum and used it to calculate his latitude on the Earth based purely on the drift of the pendulum over a certain amount of time.
Exactly, Turtle. Exactly. He doesn't listen. He never ever does. He just ignores, and then once it's his turn to speak, carries on with his normal conspirator crap. And then, the mods should be picking up on this. They really should. But, it's a while ago.
So he was in a block of flats. Where's the bit where he's looking up? Right, well, he's in a block of flats and he's got the pendulum hanging down the stairwell, and he, you can see it's not metal. It's actually like a rope type fishing wire, and the pendulum itself is made out of plastic, and he allowed it to swing under its own weight for as long as it would go. And this is the paper that it's on. That is a little dish with ink in, and it's got a little paintbrush on the bottom. And what he found was
same, not photos, the same images that you've just used, especially that one that says it's not, that the horizon's not eye level with the water. It's very easy for people to play with the levels of water. I would see more than them images. I would see reproducible photos and videos, but they're always the same doctored images.
So they're all doctored images. You know, this is what I don't get about the guy. So, well, it's not reproducible. You can't reproduce. Yes, you can reproduce it. He's asking for reproducible evidence, this stirrup fellow, and yet he doesn't do anything himself. Totally dishonest. What a dishonest turd.
I'm sorry I don't buy them because I live in Benidorm, and I've got the image if you want to share it. I can see buildings from 20 miles away at water level that should be completely hidden. One, because there's supposed to be 80 meters drop over 20 miles, and two, because things get a lot smaller as they get further away, as I'm sure you all understand perspective.
Not kidding.
I shouldn't see any buildings, but I see them all from top to bottom.
Those buildings there don't look like top to bottom to me. Plus, Stirrup hasn't verified that those buildings are 20 miles away. He's only one photo, one day, that's it. Done deal. He thinks he's not verified anything. He's not verified a single thing.
And in the night time, I can see the street lights along the beachfront 20 miles away. So my primary observations, they beat your secondary information.
Again, he's not verified that those things are 20 miles away, and he hasn't done. There's a guy who did it actually, who lives about 3/4 of an hour away from Stirrup, and he's told him, and he's said, and he's done his own measurements, and he said what he's looking at isn't what he's thinking he's looking at. And plus, San Juan from Benidorm is only less than 18 miles away, and San Juan is 40 meters above sea level, something that Stirrup never ever admits to. I wonder why.
With all due respect, Craig, you haven't gone and taken them photos yourself. You're judging secondary information. That's not
Fred.
proper science. And also, where you're saying that the horizon does drop from eye level, we know that that's not true by going on the official Red Bull video of the skydive from Felix Boutenberg, his name is. He went up 39 kilometers. Now, that was one of my points. He went up 39 kilometers, and he opens the door, and it's at eye level. He's obviously not pointing down, otherwise he would have fallen. So he's level, the camera's level. There's the horizon when Red Bull opens the door at 39 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, so, but if you look out the window, the horizon isn't at eye level. The window on his right-hand side isn't at eye level. Yet the camera is at eye level, but the horizon to his right, or to the right, isn't at eye level. Something that Stirrup never picks up on, and I wonder why.
Neil deGrasse Tyson admits that they use a fisheye lens when they step out. Yet the other funny thing is, the landmass that we can see, which is all brown, looks like very similar distance to the footage we see from the International Space Station, which is...
Neil deGrasse Tyson, again. Why is it, right? This Stirrup guy here, he doesn't believe science. He doesn't believe anything that the mythical they tell us, and yet believes Neil deGrasse Tyson, a science communicator. I wonder why. You'll be hearing me saying that a lot, actually. I wonder why.
Just supposedly 10 times higher up. So there's two contradictions. The eye level, the horizon is always eye level at Felix Boutenberg's 39 kilometer altitude, and strangely enough, the International Space Station shows a very similar distance, yet it claims to be 10 times further away.
Different cameras with different lenses will take different photographs. I don't know if this has been pointed out to him, but if I've got an iPhone 8s here as my webcam. I can take a photo with that now, and I've got a webcam here that's a load of crap. That's why I'm using my iPhone. So if I take a photo of me with my iPhone there, and I take a photo with my webcam, there's going to be a difference, massive difference, not only in quality but in panoramic view as well.
Plus, the International Space Station, funny enough, is clinging on to the rotation of Earth, like you assume.
So they should, dog walker.
The
So they should.
astronauts are floating inside. So is there gravity? Is there no gravity? It doesn't seem to make sense to a lot of people, this. Now, you could explain it.
They're not floating, they're in free fall.
But guess what? O.J. Simpson had a good lawyer that could explain really good a lot of things. But sometimes a data overload isn't evidence. It's just complicating, confusing, and back to the hypnotism, it's just persuasion. And it's...
O.J. Simpson. Really? He's gone from Neil deGrasse Tyson and the ISS to O.J. Simpson.
It's not necessarily evidence that's conclusive, is it? When there's contradictory evidence and people making their own inquiries with primary observations instead of secondary information. Your next point was flights. I've spoken to a few pilots. I've got a video of 2 pilots that I was talking to on my last video or the one before, and they agree that a flight eastbound is pretty much the same as a flight westbound. So where's the difference in rotation? We shouldn't be able to catch up the other way, as you've heard.
Really? He's never heard of Coriolis, which is anything anyway. But he seems to get these. He seems to forget these planes have this thing called steering now. Planes can steer. Something he seems to forget here. I wonder why.
Heard that argument loads of times. The gyroscope. Yeah, well, first I didn't see the experiment. I saw a cartoon of the experiment by mainstream media that could be misleading us with entertainment and making us like all the stuff I said before.
So basically, everybody's lying.
That gyroscope, if it was a valid experiment, which we don't know because we haven't done it and we've only seen a cartoon, that could have been measuring rotation of the heavens. The pendulum. I'm sorry,
measuring the rotation of the heavens. Right, okay. Oh my god. Oh.
I'm educated. I'm not informed enough to make a proper debate about the pendulum, but I'm going to say maybe it is the rotation of the skies. Maybe it's the thing with the 2 tides is the sun and the moon do have not a gravitational but an electromagnetic effect on the water, charging as water's conductive, and maybe the day and the night, the change of the light, maybe that's what causes the 2 tides. I'm theorizing, and so are you.
No, this has been experimented on and evidenced with. This weird beard is the only one that's theorizing now, and he hasn't done any tests whatsoever to back up his claim. What a numpty.
You don't know what causes the 2 tides. You only believe what you've been told, with all due respect. So if I can quickly wrap on with my other points. Chemtrails. Everyone treats us with sarcasm and because they've had negative.
Hey, hold on.
Chemtrails.
Hey, hold on one, Howard. If you're done addressing him, let's go ahead and stop. Let him address your points, and then we'll go to the round where we just openly discuss, and you can bring up your points then. But let's keep it.
Yeah, because it's just a few to close it up.
Yeah, I would just prefer to keep this structure good. So, Fight the Flat Earth. Are you ready to address his points?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up in about 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna finish at about 8:30 because I'm expecting Mrs. Jones. She'll want some sort of gift and some sort of card for, I don't know whose birthday it is today, or some celebration of St. Talonvine or whatever the freaking hell he's called. I hate it. I hate Valentine's Day.
All right, we'll start the time when you begin talking.
I mean, most of your points that you brought up in the beginning were to do with being programmed by media and stuff. But I mean, that is just a lot of speculation. I don't watch TV. I literally only listen to music when I'm in my car on the radio, and that's Absolute Radio 90s. I don't feel like I've been programmed by these things. If there is anything we're going to watch, my wife and I sit down and we'll watch something we both enjoy on Netflix when we chill. You're right about the alpha waves changing, your brain waves changing, because television's relaxing. That's what it's there for. But I don't think it is anything that can be considered evidence that we're being programmed in any way. I mentioned about not believing our senses because...
Well, if programming did work and adverts did work, you'd buy absolutely everything, wouldn't you? You'd pig off down to McDonald's every time you saw an advert for McDonald's or KFC. You'd be buying a television or a car. You'd be buying absolutely bloody everything if ads actually worked. You know, never have done me. I've never bought anything on the strength of an advert, I don't think. Certainly not from telly.
Ask a blind man what shape the earth is, and then he can't tell you. Ask a deaf person what sound a guitar makes, he can't tell you. Our senses are pretty rubbish in the grand scheme of things. That's why I have to wear glasses. That's why we have tools. That's why we have cameras that can see further, etc. You said gravity hasn't been demonstrated. That's just plainly false. I can refer to the Schehelian experiment conducted in the 19th century, and then again in 1997 by some BBC researchers, where they used the mass of a mountain to show that mass does attract mass, using a plumb bob. Also, you can refer to the Cavendish experiment, which has been recreated recently by someone in this community. Built his own Cavendish experiment and clearly showed with his results that mass does attract mass, as we expect it to. Being censored by Facebook. Facebook is a company. They can do whatever they want. And they have said that they will try and not allow conspiracy theory stuff to
subscribe to each other.
And that's just a decision that a company has taken. I do think that Mark Zuckerberg is possibly an android. I'm not entirely sure.
He's not. He's a lizard person sent here from the planet Zog to spy on us and just to con us, basically.
Flat Earth Society has controlled opposition. I hear this a lot. The Flat Earth Society, the only people I ever hear with the argument of the Earth is accelerating upwards, which is what causes gravity. No other Flat Earthers really say that. So I don't really know what the story is with the Flat Earth Society, whether they're just a troll group or not, but I don't think they're controlled opposition, because I don't think there's anyone trying to, fool people into not thinking that it's real. Flat Earth, Obama saying that, Obama doesn't write his own speeches and stuff, right? When Obama said that stuff, there had been a lot of recent interest in the flat earth because it had been on media and stuff, and they put it in his speech because it meant that he would resonate with people.
Hold on, don't. He's running on his timer. Don't, please.
Busted to get in. He's this stirrup is absolutely busted to get in there, isn't he? You're saying something I don't agree with. Please let me interrupt and all the rest of it. I don't remember anybody interrupting him when he was going through his 10-minute bloody retarded nonsense.
Anti-vaxxers, mercury, blah, blah, blah. In the past 3 years, there's been no mercury in any vaccinations in the UK. I can't speak for the USA, but mercury has been completely removed in all forms in most vaccinations. Vaccinations work. We literally wiped out polio and stuff, but now due to the rise of anti-vaxxers, it has come back. Vampires being cannibalism. Yeah, I tried to read Twilight. That was awful. That's all I can say about that. Illuminati. I joined the Illuminati on the website. It's the worst secret society in the world. Temptation and stuff. Yeah, of course there's temptation. That's why you have adverts for McDonald's and stuff to tempt you into wanting a burger, and that's how McDonald's make their money. It's literally just called, adverts. It's there for a reason. Science doesn't mislead. Science is a tool that helps you discern what reality is. And when you actually follow the scientific method, which I will ask you to define in a bit, you always...
Queen is a lizard person. That's the one. Yeah, David Icke said so, didn't he? And he said it on YouTube, and he said it on television. So which one do I believe? Do I believe YouTube, or do I believe the television?
come out with the answers of the Earth is a globe. Science never proves anything because that isn't its job. It just gives us the best answers that we have. And I think that's everything you really brought up in your initial 10 minutes.
Well,
all right. Are you done?
Just to
Fight the
quickly
fire?
respond, if I may.
Yeah.
Well, no. Hold on. We're about to go to a 30-minute. We're about to go to a 30-minute conversational piece. So you can respond there. That's going to be an open conversation. All that we ask is that you two things. Number one, you don't speak over each other, and number two, you listen to me and Sean if we tell you guys to stop, so that we can regain control of the conversation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Howard, we're going to start with you since you've been waiting. You have a couple more points to point out, and I think you wanted to address something. So as soon as you start, we'll start the timer.
Yeah, before I get back onto mine, I'll just stick on to the things you've mentioned. The new Cavendish experiments that supposedly proving gravity could be measuring static electricity, could be moving, it could be measuring other things. If there is a force, call it gravity, then it's just pulling things down until there's solid.
The Sasquatch is Howard George Sterling. He calls himself a globe skeptic, an open-minded globe skeptic who's completely closed-minded to the possibility of the Earth being a globe. And he's about to tell us all that gravity isn't a thing, and it might be electromagnetism, but it's just his opinion because he hasn't got any evidence to back up any of his bullshit claims.
Evidence of curvature at water level, then gravity
Sean offered.
might be a force that pulls down, but it isn't proven to pull things towards the center. Gravity has never been manipulated, so it's a phenomena that has been observed, it's been measured. You know, people can assume that things accelerate because of the speed of gravity, but it could be momentum. So there's a lot of theory, there's a lot of debate, because
You can't measure it, but everything accelerates towards the ground, doesn't it? So it is measured. And if it was electrostatic whatever bollocks, then why don't birds fall out of the trees? And you know, why do birds fall out of the trees if it's electromagnetism or whatever it is? How stupid can this man be? It has been measured. You can manipulate gravity. You can go up here, you know, you're still being in the ISS, you're manipulating gravity, aren't you? In a vomit comic, you're manipulating gravity. All those things. Of course you're manipulating everything.
it hasn't been manipulated, it's not the independent variable of the experiment. So until it is, it remains a dependent variable. So gravity still remains a theory, hence the name. Senses.
Wait, if I could respond to that first before you move on.
Yes.
Gravity isn't just a theory. Gravity is
a
scientific theory. Well, there's the scientific theory of gravity, which is the corroborating evidence that backs up the law of gravitational attraction. And the you're saying about electrostatics being the cause for Cavendish. Well, we don't float in a Faraday cage, so no, it really can't be that. And like I said with the Thessalian experiment, I know I'm ruining the name. I apologise to any Scottish people listening. It was very clear evidence outside of a Cavendish experiment that mass does attract mass, because the plumb bob deviated the amount expected based on the mass of the mountain, and they were actually able to use it to measure the density and weight of the Earth. So gravity absolutely has been demonstrated to be an attraction between all mass. And if you are saying that it's not the independent variable, I'm sorry, but that's literally you're just quoting Sleeping Warrior, and he doesn't understand what an independent variable and a dependent variable is. The gravitational force is what is manipulated by reducing the distance. We were talking about the Cavendish. The gravitational force is literally manipulated by reducing the distance between the masses, meaning that the gravitational attraction can be stronger. So gravity, the gravitational attraction, the actual amount can be manipulated by moving the mass.
Starting an online store is easier than you think. Let me show you how to quickly
Sorry
open
about
one
that.
with Shopify. First,
Masses closer to each other. That would answer that. That there is absolutely evidence that mass attracts mass, and it's not just a downward force. There has been evidence of curvature at sea level. I just have to say the name soundly. He's clearly shown that there's curvature at sea level.
Well, my point is, instead of asking people to believe my images or my photos or my videos, I'm asking people to check for themselves. And everyone that has come back saying, yeah, well, maybe it's light refraction or this, that, the other. It's all excuses, explanations, theories. Nobody has come back to me in 2 years of offering 10,000 euros on national television that went viral in South America as well. Okay?
And
I've got
if I was
20
around at the time, I would have
20
certainly challenged that. One of my
Everyone's
subscribers
challenged it, Craig, but nobody's provided reproducible evidence of what these few images that keep getting copied and pasted everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah? Everyone's going to the first debunk video and saying, yeah, it's debunked. Or everyone's getting pictures off the internet or off mainstream and saying, yeah, it's not true. How many people are doing primary observations of their own?
Here
That's my
is a primary
recommendation.
observation from one of my in fact, I've got a whole bunch of observations that my subscribers have sent me. This is a very good one, clearly showing that the bottom of those wind turbines aren't there. So there's no compression. It's just clear that they are hidden behind the horizon. And if I could just refer back to your picture that you showed, where is it? This one. Those buildings, the bottom of them isn't there.
Fata Morgana, you know all about that, mate. Come on.
Yeah, and my point being that if the Earth was completely flat, then we'd be able to see them most of the time. There is no reason why there should actually be a horizon at all on a flat Earth. And just looking at this picture,
Exactly.
says to me you don't really understand what gravity is, because no one ever says that water should do those things. Water will go to its point of lowest potential because there is a force acting on it. Water isn't sentient in any way. It literally just reacts and conforms to forces that are acting on it. If there's bumpy stuff underneath the surface of the water wouldn't, naturally do that. However, you can see cases when you have sandbanks and stuff where, as the tides are coming in and out, the water will slightly conform to the shape of what's underneath it, again, because there's forces acting on it. So, I would disagree highly that there isn't any reproducible evidence, because I get sent evidence all the time by so many people. I've got hundreds of emails of people sending me pictures that they've taken themselves. Me personally, I'm disabled. I can't get out of the house very often. I don't have the ability to just nip down to the beach and go and do these observations myself, because I am disabled and kind of stuck in my house. And just saying it's second-hand evidence is what we call genetic fallacy, because that's not what science is about. Science isn't about everyone doing it for themselves, otherwise we'd never get anything done.
Can I pause to just ask a question real quick that I'd like to clarify? That challenge that you had, was that the one that Eric Dubay was pushing like a year and a half ago?
Don't think so. I just got promoted in South America and Spain, and I promoted myself.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that wasn't the same one I was thinking of, because that one Eric Dubay said that they would only allow evidence that they accepted it as credible evidence, and that kind of rules out them as judges. But they were the judges too. So
no, I think you're talking about.
I just want to clarify that wasn't your challenge.
Sean, I think you're talking about the one that they won the lawsuit because the evidence wasn't what was asked, aren't you?
No, that was a different one.
All right, okay, no worries. But yeah, that's my point for that. There is evidence that there is curvature,
And I think... Oh, crikey. Oh, oh dear. Hey, there's me. Little old me. Right, I think I'm going to call it a day with that one just for now. Thank you to everybody that's watched. Thank you to any new subscribers that have turned in. Thanks to the moderators for keeping the chat nice and clean. And thanks to everybody, and I mean everybody that's commented and liked and etc etc, that's, you know, made it a really good stream. It's been a very good stream. I've loved every minute of this. It's been fantastic interaction, everything like that. It's been absolutely wonderful. So thank you to everybody. Don't forget the Wacky Wednesday video, which will come out this Wednesday 8 PM, and don't forget the Sunday Stupid as well this Sunday 8 PM. So I will see you all very soon, and please take care and be safe with whatever you're doing. Happy Valentine's Day if you believe in all that crap. It's not my fault that you're single and you're ugly and you can't celebrate Valentine's Day with the one that you love. Hang on a minute, I'm ugly as well. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, ta-ra. I will see you on the next one. Alrighty.